he said, the brightest vision that ever came upon the earth. There was something in her frank countenance, in her voice, and in every motion of her graceful form that overpowered me, as if it were a celestial creature that deigned to mingle with me in intercourse more sweet than man had ever before enjoyed. Sorrow fled before her, and her smile seemed to possess an influence like light to irradiate all mental darkness. It was not like a human loveliness that these gentle smiles went and came, but as a sunbeam on a lake, now light and now obscure, flitting before as you strove to catch them and fold them for ever to your heart. I saw this smile fade for ever. Alas! I could never have believed that it was indeed Elinor that died, if once, when I spoke, she had not lifted her almost benighted eyes, and for one moment, like nought beside on earth, more lovely than a sunbeam, slighter, quicker than the waving plumage of a bird, dazzling as lightning, and like it giving day to night, yet mild and faint, that smile came. It went, and then there was an end of all joy to me. Thus his own sorrows, or the shapes copied from nature that dwelt in his mind with beauty greater than their own, occupied our talk, while I railed in my own griefs with cautious secrecy. If for a moment he showed curiosity, my eyes fell, my voice died away, and my evident suffering made him quickly endeavour to banish the ideas he had awakened. Yet he for ever mingled consolation in his talk, and tried to soften my despair by demonstrations of deep sympathy and compassion. "We are both unhappy," he would say to me. "I have told you my melancholy tale, and we have wept together the loss of that lovely spirit that has so cruelly deserted me. But you hide your griefs. I do not ask you to disclose them, but tell me if I may not console you. It seems to me a wild adventure to find in this desert one like you, quite solitary. You are young and lovely. Your manners are refined and attractive, yet there is in your settled melancholy, and something, I know not what, in your expressive eyes, that seems to separate you from your kind. You shudder. Pardon me, I entreat you, but I cannot help expressing this once, at least the lively interest I feel in your destiny. You never smile, your voice is low, and you utter your words as if you were afraid of the slight sound they would produce. The expression of awful and intense sorrow never for a moment fades from your countenance. I have lost for ever the loveliest companion that any man could ever have possessed, one who rather appears to have been a superior spirit, who by some strange accident wandered among us earthly creatures, than as belonging to our own kind. Yet I smile, and sometimes I speak almost forgetful of the change I have endured. But your sad mien never alters, your pulses beat and you breathe, yet you seem already to belong to another world. And sometimes, pray pardon my wild thoughts, when you touch my hand, I am surprised to find your hand warm, when all the fire of life seems extinct within you. When I look upon you, the tears you shed, the soft deprecating look with which you withstand inquiry, the deep sympathy your voice expresses when I speak of my lesser sorrows, add to my interest for you. You stand here shelterless. You have cast yourself from among us, and you wither on this wild plain, forlorn and helpless. Some dreadful calamity must have befallen you. Do not turn from me, I do not ask you to reveal it. I only entreat you to listen to me, and to become familiar with the voice of consolation and kindness. If pity, and admiration, and gentle affection can wean you from despair, let me attempt the task. I cannot see your look of deep grief, without endeavouring to restore you to happier feelings. Unbend your brow, relax the stern melancholy of your regard, permit a friend, a sincere, affectionate friend, I will be one, to convey some relief, some momentary pause to your sufferings. Do not think that I would intrude upon your confidence. I only ask for your patience. Do not for ever look sorrow and never speak it. Utter one word of bitter complaint, and I will reprove it with gentle exhortation, and pour on you the balm of compassion. You must not shut me from all communion with you. Do not tell me why you grieve, but only say the words, I am unhappy, and you will feel relieved, as if for some time excluded from all intercourse by some magic spell, you should suddenly enter again the pale of human sympathy. I entreat you to believe in my most sincere professions, and to treat me as an old and tried friend. Promise me never to forget me, never causelessly to banish me, but try to love me as one who would devote all his energies to make you happy. Give me the name of friend, I will fulfil its duties, and if for a moment complaint and sorrow would shape themselves into words, let me be near to speak peace to your vexed soul. I repeat his persuasions in faint terms, and cannot give you at the same time the tone and gesture that animated them. Like a refreshing shower on an arid soil, they revived me, and though I still kept their cause secret, he led me to pour forth my bitter complaints, and to clothe my woe in words of gall and fire. With all the energy of desperate grief, I told him how I had fallen at once from bliss to misery, how that for me there was no joy, no hope, that death, however bitter, would be the welcome seal to all my pangs. Death the skeleton was to be beautiful as love. I know not why, but I found it sweet to utter these words to human ears, and though I derided all consolation, yet I was pleased to see it offered me with gentleness and kindness. I listened quietly, and when he paused, would again pour out my misery in expressions that showed how far too deep my wounds were for any cure. But now, also, I began to reap the fruits of my perfect solitude. I had become unfit for any intercourse, even with Woodville, the most gentle and sympathizing creature that existed. I had become captious and unreasonable, my temper was utterly spoilt. I called him my friend, but I viewed all he did with jealous eyes. If he did not visit me at the appointed hour, I was angry, very angry, and told him that if indeed he did feel interest in me, it was cold and could not be fitted for me, a poor worn creature, whose deep unhappiness demanded much more than his worldly heart could give. When for a moment I imagined that his manner was cold, I would fretfully say to him, I was at peace before you came. Why have you disturbed me? You have given me new wants, and now you trifle with me, as if my heart were as whole as yours, as if I were not in truth a shorn lamb thrust out on the bleak hillside, tortured by every blast. I wished for no friend, no sympathy. I avoided you, you know I did. But you forced yourself upon me, and gave me those wants which you see with triumph give you power over me. Oh, the brave power of the bitter north wind, which freezes the tears it has caused to shed. But I will not bear this. Go, the sun will rise and set as before you came, and I shall sit among the pines, or wander on the heath weeping and complaining, without wishing for you to listen. You are cruel, very cruel, to treat me who bleed at every pore in this rough manner. And then, when in answer to my peevish words, I saw his countenance bent with living pity on me, when I saw him, gli occhi griso vemi con quel sembiante, che madre fa sopra figliul delirio. Paradiso, Canto 1. I wept and said,